So I wasn't even going to make a video about the fact that, the Surface Duo 1 and 2 did not get the April update. Because at this point, it's pretty obvious Microsoft's not committing to 4 years of updates. Like how Google, Samsung, Oppo, you list it, every company nowadays is saying that they're going to get 4 years of updates to all their portable smartphones. Well, Microsoft's not doing it. And I know we had the comment, well, what do you expect from them? What else are they going to update? There's nothing else for them to give updates to. What they give updates to, guys, is security updates. It's stuff that is, posted in the Android bulletin that protects the devices and avoids people from being able to hack your device or steal your information. That's the reason why we get updates, right? Even if it's just a security update, it's at least something, if anything. So here's what this article had to say. If you notice that Microsoft has slowed down updates for its Microsoft Surface Duo devices in the last couple months, you're not alone. Following the release of Android 12L and the Surface Duo 1 and 2 last fall, the company has yet to address some bugs introduced by the major update. Moreover, the company didn't release a security update for the device last month. According to Windows Central, Zach Bowden, the future of Microsoft's Surface Duo family could well be in trouble due to multiple factors. First of all, the Microsoft Surface OS team, which is said to be working on a single-screen foldable device, has been affected by an internal reorg. The report says that many of its members are now working on Microsoft Team Rooms for Android software. For whatever reason, Microsoft considered this effort more important than supporting the Surface Duo with new features and bug fixes. So work on Android for Surface Duo has slowed while the team focused on Team Rooms for Android. That's why Android 12L launched in October and has received pretty much no fixes or improvements since, the report reads. I disagree with that because there was some problems with Android 12L when it did first come out, mainly on Surface Duo 2 devices, and the December update really fixed a crap ton of those problems. Like, the December update really went through and said all Surface Duo 1 and 2 problems with Android 12L, here's the fix, and majority of problems have been fixed. Bowden has heard, as of late 2022, Microsoft has no plan to release Android 13 on the Surface Duo and was considering waiting for Android 14 and said that might have changed since, but I've not been able to confirm it. Bowden said when asked if Android 13 was coming to the Surface Duo devices, Microsoft gave Windows Central a nothing to share response. It certainly doesn't help that Microsoft announced 10,000 job cuts earlier this year, and projects that failed to get a significant amount of momentum are likely going to be affected. Foldable devices remain a niche market, and it's hard for Microsoft to compete with established manufacturers like Samsung that also iterates faster. Another reason for a slowdown of the Surface Duo updates could be Microsoft's troubled relationship with Google, as Android makers have reportedly stopped giving Microsoft early access to new Android code. This is why Android 12L for the Microsoft Surface Duo took so long. Because unlike Samsung and other OEMs, Microsoft had to wait until Android 12L was finished in March 2022 before it could start working on porting OS to Surface Duo, the report explained. That's why we don't get... Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. That's why we don't get the betas, like the Android 12L beta for the Surface Duo devices, or we don't get the Android 13 beta, because they can't. They literally cannot. Microsoft does not have access to it. That makes so much sense. This whole time I'm sitting here thinking Microsoft's the one just not doing it or not caring, but they literally physically cannot. They do not have a good relationship with Google. Google does not give them the access to these privileges. Oh, that's not good for the Surface Duo 3. While we may still see a Surface Duo 3 with a single foldable screen, this device may not arrive until late 2024. This would be 3 years after the release of the Surface Duo 2, which is pretty much an eternity in the mobile device industry. In the meantime, we will not likely see any substantial update on existing models. As put out by Windows Central, even the recent Bing Chatbox integration on the Microsoft SwiftKey yet to arrive on the Surface Duo 1 and 2. Yeah, we're not getting a Surface Duo 3 then. We're definitely not getting a Surface Duo 3. I forgot the fact that they did cut 10,000 jobs, plus the fact that, you know, they have an awful relationship with Google. They can't even get betas from Google. Yeah, there's no way they're doing that. They're not going to waste their time focused on the Surface Duo 3 when they could be focused on other things that's going to make them more money. I said this before and I'll say it again. The Surface Duo lineup 1, 2 were just cash grabs for Microsoft. They saw the foldable phone industry kind of booming, making money, making attention. You know, people were talking about it. It brought them into the limelight, and they took that and they ran with it. And now that the well is, as they would say, the well is dry and there's no more water in the well, now they're just going to move on and walk away like nothing happened. Yeah, we're not getting a Surface to it. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. No, that's kind of sad. I didn't realize how much Microsoft didn't have access to all this stuff. So by the time they could get Android 12L, so instead of them being able to, let's say, for example, Android 12L was supposed to be released in July of, 2 years ago we talked about it. 2 years ago in July. We thought they were working on it all the way in January of that year. But no, they weren't working on that until August. So by the time they even get access to the software, by the time they're able to even talk about the software, they already have a lot of people yelling at them saying, hey, get this to the Surface Duo 1 and 2. And then with all that being said, so they're just rushing and pushing it out because they don't have time to work and perfect it. That is what the recipe of disasters are all being caused by. Is because they are the last to get these softwares, and then by the time they get them, they just rush them out because it's well, now that we have it, it's old news, right? By the time we got Android 12L and the Surface Duo 1 and 2, Android 13 was already on the Galaxy Z Fold 4. So it's by the time we get these things, the newer devices, current devices have the newer software. So Microsoft's now always behind giving us the old software because they can't get it out faster. Now, Android 11, that's not 100% true with that concept. But at the same time, maybe again, with that bad relationship they have with Google, that's why Android 11 took so long in the Surface Duo 1. That is crazy to kind of learn. I highly doubt we get a Surface Duo 3 at this point. But, comment down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.